Hello, this is the Ashley Corinne, and I'm going to talk today about the four elements as they relate to M theory. Now, of course I'm talking about, hold on, got a diesel, and that lady was looking at me funny. Anyways, M theory states that there's four fundamental forces, and those forces are gravity, electromagnetism, the weak nuclear force, and the strong nuclear force. Now, electromagnetism and gravity are more or less easy to understand, and I don't really know the weak or the strong nuclear forces. Okay, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a science student even. I've studied this very not in depth, very superficially, so I understand the kind of basic concept of it. But there's four fundamental forces in M theory, and then in traditional pagan magic, there's four elements that you call upon. That you can call upon them for different reasons at different times. And so, ooh, there's a bunch of grasshoppers, man. Global warming, man. Anyways, so I correlate the four elements of magic with the four fundamental forces of nature as outlined in M theory. Basically, you know, in magic, when you're calling upon elements in magic, you're actually calling upon the forces of nature. And that's not to say that you can command the forces of nature at will, but if you know how to use imagery and emotion and intent and will, you can basically, it's kind of like praying to an element, except not really like that. It's more like sending them, it's like radar. Ow. It's like radar. It's like sending, or sonar. Sorry, sonar. Well, it's basically kind of the same thing. But it's like sonar. It's like when in sonar you send a sound wave out and then it bounces back up at you and you can see the shape of what you're shooting the sonar wave at. In magic, it's like you're sending a message, specifically constructed message out into the ether or out towards an element, and and then what you hope will happen is that there'll be something bouncing back that is what you want, energetic wise. Now that might have been hard to understand, but anyways, but getting back to the four elements in M theory, like basically the way I see it is fire element is electromagnetism, the earth element is gravity, the water element is the strong nuclear force, and the air element is the weak nuclear force. because, you know, water and air are a lot like each other, except water is stronger and air is weaker. So I don't know, that's kind of how I correlate it. See, when you do a spell, you construct it usually on parchment. That's usually what I do because it's easy. It's easy to write out and spell out and draw out your intentions exactly as you want them to be on the paper. And then you, through some means or method, destroy it. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. Well, there's lots of ways you can do this. I usually use fire, but that can be inconvenient because it makes a smell. Although it's always fun, especially at night, to burn a spell. I've used water. I've flushed spells down the toilet a couple of times. You know, you could bury it. That would be the element of earth. You could tear it up and let it blow away in the wind. That would be the element of air. There could be any way. You could shoot it out into space. You could do anything. Shoot it into the sun. Now that'd be cool, to shoot one of your spells into the sun. But anyways, the point of destroying it is that you write down that message using imagery, letters, words, and numbers. By destroying it, you send that message into the ether. And like I said, it's almost like, imagine if you had a sonar, but it could blast certain images or words through sound. And so you send an image or a word into the ether, and hopefully the ether has a kind reaction and it bounces back at you positively. Sometimes it can alter or change. Sometimes the effects can be reversed. That's why, like, I said I've practiced magic before, but I've been practicing magic for about 5 years, and I've cast probably about 10 spells, more or less. That means like an average of 2 spells a year. Okay? So, even those who know how to use magic don't always use it. And that's because you gotta be smart, man. You gotta be wise.